Joining us now, Kelly Riddell, a columnist and commentary writer for the Washington Times, Leslie Marshall, a syndicated radio host and the Fox News contributor, and Alan Colmes, also a radio host and Fox News contributor. Kelly, you say that you agree with Donald Trump. The moderators you think were not fair to him. Why?
Well, there's no doubt that he walked into the lion's den last night and miraculously came out alive. Listen, the first 6 questions off the top of the debate were dealing with the leaked audio tape. Now, that should have been dealt with, but that consumed 30 minutes of a 90-minute debate. Moreover, about halfway through the debate, we saw that the moderators interrupted Donald Trump 14 times, compared to Hillary Clinton only 3 times. They hit him on his tax returns and all of the hot-button issues, but the only thing that was brought up was an online question regarding Mrs. Clinton and the leaked WikiLeaks audio where she said she had 2 personas, one in public and one in private. They never followed up with another question on that or asked her anything about the Clinton Foundation. I think that this was a very biased debate, and the moderators wanted to take center stage.
Leslie, what do you think about that?
I honestly think, and this is not to your point, so I thought he was being juvenile. I thought he was being petty. When you look at the exact time by the clock, he had almost 90 seconds more than Secretary Clinton. In addition to that, one of the reasons that he was interrupted more is because he kept going over his time. He kept making the comments. He would not answer the questions posed. If you're asked a question about the humanitarian condition in Syria, why are you talking about troops in Mosul, which is in Iraq? I think that the moderators did their job. And I'm not saying that because Hillary's winning in the polls today as to who won the debate. I just find it interesting that somebody running for president says the comments that he does. I don't find them professional. I don't find them presidential. If you're in a debate, answer the question, stick to your time.
All right, Alan, but whether you like what he said or not, he made a lot of points that a lot of people say need to be made about the way the country is being run.
Well, look, this is a guy who it's always rigged against him, right? The debate rigs against him, the election's rigged against him. He can't get a fair shake. As Leslie pointed out, he got more airtime than Hillary Clinton did. And it's the job of the moderators to make the trains run on time. When he's asked about the audio tapes, which was the big story of the day, they should have spent a lot of time on it. And he answers about tax reform. He answers about everything else. He didn't respond to a number of questions directly, and it's their job to make sure that he answers the question. The moderators did a great job.
The bottom line is the American people do not care about Donald Trump's sex life or Bill Clinton's sex life, for that matter.
Obviously.
They care about the policies, and that's what debates are for.
Then tell Donald Trump to stop bringing up Bill Clinton's sex life.
But these moderators seem to want to get more in the mud than they did elevate the issues of policy.
This is a guy who
and Donald Trump pivoted to the policy issues. He apologized and he said that was locker room banter. Then he wanted to pivot to the issues, and the moderators brought it right back
to the right before the debate with Clinton accusers. So you can't play that game that no one cares about the sex stuff, because he held a news conference right before the debate, bringing in and paying for that fly them in Kathleen Willey, Paula Jones, and Renita Broderick. Come on.
All right, but some would say, you know, you got to fight fire with fire, that it's a legitimate issue.
It's the lowest of the low. They go low, we go high.
All right.
You go high with condensation. You don't go high. You go high in your talk, but you go low and with your punches.
Okay, great.
What about Leslie, the fairness of the moderators, the interruptions, etc.? Were they piling on Donald Trump?
No, as I said, I think that Donald Trump needed to be reined in, if you will. Part of the job of a moderator is like a traffic cop. I mean, you're keeping the flow of the traffic and the time. And to the comments that were just made, the questions came from either the audience on the set or those who were online. If you look at the polls, and if you look what dominated, excuse me, we don't need to talk over each other. If you look at what dominated the news cycles, not just on the networks, but online, the people are very concerned about what was said by Donald Trump in those tapes. Bill Clinton is not running for president. Donald Trump is. And as a woman, I think it is sexist to look to his wife for the actions of her husband or alleged allegations against her husband. And I agree with Alan. If it's not an issue, then why did you have that conference before and put these 3 women there in the front row on your dime and hold a conference? Basically, you're not just opening the door. You're saying bring it on, game on.
All right.
So I think that's why the American people weigh in and ask such questions.
Also, if Hillary Clinton's an enabler, does that make Melania Trump an enabler too? And all those other ex-wives?
They
spent 30 minutes of the debate talking about this, so I think that issue was covered. Martha Raddatz wanted, it was like Donald Trump she has such contempt for Donald Trump, and that shone through last night during the debate, where she actually entered the debate and started wanting to jostle back and forth with Donald Trump on his policy in Syria. I'm sorry, that is not Martha Raddatz's call. It's up to the American people to determine whose policy they support more, and she didn't even let him get the chance to put forth that policy. She interrupted him 6 times during that back and forth with her own opinion.
All right, we'll let the American people decide whether the media were being fair or not. But it's a very good discussion. Leslie Marshall, Alan Combs, Kelly Riddell, thank you.
There's